Hello, welcome to Master of Orion 2. For this video I'm going to be doing a game of 1 versus, well, X on Impossible. This game doesn't actually have a team mode, but I'll be playing Uncreative. So I'll go ahead and set up the game. I'll do Cluster, because I'm actually going to be playing a fairly lacking in technology race. Ironically though, I'm going to pick Cylons with the racial picture just to prevent them from being in the game. So go ahead and pick Uncreative. In this particular version that I'm playing, Uncreative is -5. In the base game, I think it's -4, but it's pretty bad. But it's really chance based. So I'll just right click on it again. As you can see there, they have great difficulty in coming up with difficult new technology ideas. Uncreative races will only be able to research only one application selected randomly in each field. So most fields, not every single one, but most, have 2 or 3 technologies, and ordinarily you can pick one of them, and then it just moves on to the next field. You can't actually get the other technology, at least through research. There's other ways to get it. So I think there's actually several ways to get technology in this game. So first is researching it, the most straightforward way. Another way is to do exchanges with other races, or demands, or they could offer you a tech. I don't think that would ever happen, but I guess it's theoretically possible. But yeah, through diplomacy, basically. Another way is when you take a planet, sometimes it gives you a technology or technologies. I think kind of at random. I have no idea about the formula, but it seems to be that you're more likely to get technologies the more either the more buildings that are there or the more population, maybe both. Maybe those two factors go into a formula and then it gives you a greater probability, something like that. But a common way to get technology is when you take planets, it starts giving you techs. So that's kind of nice. And that applies to telepathic as well, by the way. Another way is through capturing ships and then scrapping them in a system that you control. It'll actually give you, I think, 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 3 random technologies on that ship that you don't have. So that's kind of nice. The main benefit, in my opinion, of capturing ships is to salvage the technology, not so much to use the ship, because chances are you as a player have designed a better ship than what the computer have designed. It also gets your racial bonuses. But yeah, I guess it's possible for the ship to still be useful. I pretty much just immediately scrap it to get technology. You also get money. That's kind of nice. But that's another way. And I think the final way, if I'm not mistaken, is if you visit a planet which has ancient artifacts, then it gives you, I think, 1 technology at random that's currently available to you. That doesn't happen very often, though. Spying, of course. I forgot about spying. Is yet another way to get technology. There might be 1 or 2 other ways, but they don't come to mind right now. But those are that's at least the vast majority of ways to get technology. I'm a bit surprised that I didn't mention spying right off the bat, but there you go. I tend not to do a lot of spying. That's probably why. So Uncreative, basically it just rolls for each field throughout all the fields in the game. So at least you know up front. Like you don't have to research up to a certain field before it tells you what tech is there. It actually just does it at the start of the game. So you're able to just see right from the get-go all the technologies available. And if you do play on Uncreative, sometimes you'll do that, and then you'll go to look at the technologies available, and then say, well, look, this is unplayable. I'm going to restart in order to re-roll all the technologies. So a key one might be automated factories. Like playing without automated factories puts you at a huge disadvantage early on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually combine this with feudal, so I can make ships faster. And then I'm going to, there's not a whole lot more penalties I can take. So I'm going to take Warlord. And I'm basically just going to play very powerful ships and look to conquer all enemies. So feudal seems a bit crazy, but all research generated is reduced by 50%, including from treaties. So not only do I not have access to all technologies, I'm also going to get less research points. So we'll see how that goes for me. Spying, I could probably live without this. Wonder what I could take instead. Maybe I could change one of these. No, I'll stick with that. So basically, I'm going to have almost unkillable ships. High ground combat warlord as well to top that off. Rich home world so I can produce ships really quickly. I'm also feudal so I can produce ships even faster. And I'm going to play like a tempo, kind of a tempo based steamrolling style where I don't really focus on research and I just focus almost exclusively on combat. It's tempting to take telepathic. That's kind of doing it on easy mode, although it does cost a lot of points. This is like I guess you could call it a moderate mode of that. On the flip side, though, I can take these other advantages. So my ships are going to be extremely powerful. Ground combat also good, and then Warlord, of course, to get the extra command points, so I can make a lot of ships. So we'll roll with this. Start the usual exploration. Now let's take a look what we have. No, it's not letting me. Interesting. I can't actually click into these. I think I must have inadvertently put on a setting which doesn't let me see. Not really sure what's happened here. But I guess I'll have to take back what I said earlier, which is that you can click into these to see which technologies are available. But somehow, some way, I think I've turned on a setting which has disabled that. So part of me wants to just restart, but you know what? I'm going to continue on just to see where this goes. So I'm going to research this in the hope that the next technology is automated factories. So I'll do the usual exploration here. Okay, Splinter Colony, very good start. So I've already got another star system, just like that. And I've got a wormhole here which goes across the galaxy. Give me access to the enemies perhaps a little bit faster. Well, there's not much over there, just a couple of black holes. Okay, he's good. I will grab him soonish. Now I'll just continue exploring. That system has an eel, but eels don't just attack you like other space monsters. Oh, hello. So actually some pretty good planets, plus another wormhole, that's nice. Which goes down here. Now, quite a few planets, so I'm actually going to use this planets function tab. Enemy presence, normal gravity. Let's go mineral abundance. So I'm kind of just filtering out all the planets. And then we can prioritize according to minerals or climate or size. So it's actually, it might sound a little bit crazy, but I am tempted to go for that ultra rich planet just because that'll give me a nice early boost. Ultra rich planets tend to get going faster, especially in the early stages of the game. I think this star though, Ras, is in a better position, so I'm gonna go for that. Looks like someone else is interested in it, perhaps. Oh no, he's just exploring. That's okay. And let's colonize that large Terran planet. Now I'll continue the exploration. Okay, I've encountered a couple of races. Okay, so I can still see their technologies. There is a function in this version of the game where you can make so you can't see their technologies, but it looks like I didn't accidentally turn that off. I really don't want fighter bays, but I have to research it in order to continue down that line. Silicoid, population growth minus 50. Okay, that's their standard ability. They have unification as their bonus pick. Trilarian, they got industrial production +1, ship defense and offense. That's interesting. I think I'll have to go for the silicoids though. This star here, Zoth, is within 4 parsecs of each of these stars, so that's perfect. Now, I think I'll actually go for this instead, just because I'm worried that if I research this, not only will that be a waste of time, but it might actually lead to missile base. Heavy armor would be nice, but I don't really care for missile base. So I'm going to go ahead and design a ship. If I get fusion rifle, that'll make the Marines stronger. It'll actually give me a level of refinement in physics, which applies to lasers, and then I can basically make the ship stronger. I'm not repulsive though, so I can actually still negotiate with people. We'll go ahead and set up some treaties here. Still got 19 turns to recruit that guy. Yeah, I've got enough money, so that's not going to be a problem. I really do want that guy though. Fighter pilot isn't going to really do anything for me, but helmsman will give him some defense. Navigator though is the important thing, so he will be useful. Now I've just visited Orion there. So there goes one of my scouts. This guy's good as well. Weaponry and commander. Commander is very good. So if I right click on this, ground troops get 2.5 times this bonus, and the bonus is 4, so that'll add 10 to ground combat. So I haven't researched a single thing, and I'm already gearing up. Now, as long as they don't research missile base, should be okay. And I can see there they researched heavy armor. So Starbase is going to be harder to take out. Reinforced hull as well. So these each give... well, each of these triples the structure and armor. So essentially the Starbase is going to have double overall health. No, triple, sorry. So it's going to... Normally it's 60-60, but with this it's going to be 180 and 180. Shouldn't be a problem though, because I'm going to sit back with heavy lasers and just take pot shots at it. And as long as I'm able to destroy the missiles, it's not going to be a problem. Okay, now I've got more leaders than I know what to do with. This guy is now obsolete. I'd prefer to get this guy instead. However, he does cost a lot more. Helmsman and weaponry, whereas this guy's weaponry and commander. 2 BC, 3 BC. Yeah, I kind of want all three, although there is overlap. There's definitely a lot of overlap between these two. A little bit of overlap between these two. So maybe the optimal approach is to hire Atlas, or Altos, and Mercure. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, I've got 7 more turns until he disappears, so I'll just procrastinate a little bit. Okay, got my fusion rifle. Yeah, it looks like it's not gonna let me look into the other technologies, which Uncreative is already pretty bad, but this makes it even worse. So Tachyon Communications is nice though. And I don't really need Battle Scanner because I've already got plus 50 beam attack on my racial abilities. So maybe that is quite a good thing actually. Let's go for Fighter Bays. Not because I want Fighter Bays, but because I just want to see what the next technology there is. It's only 80 research points. Anyway, time to produce ships. So we go here, now we have a level of refinement. I can give it no range dissipation. No range dissipation is exactly what it sounds like, which is it doesn't dissipate over range. Which means if it hits, it'll do full damage. So you still get the range to hit penalty over distance, but you don't get the damage penalty over distance. So it kind of turns it into a little bit of a mass driver. A laser with this is like a mass driver. Still has a damage range though, so not exactly a mass driver, but similar. So go ahead and make that Corvette. Instead here, I'm going to make an outpost ship. What I can do is use the scout for the other leader, if I can afford it. I have to be careful not to lose him there. Yeah, I can't quite decide on how to... Maybe I'll just get Jared and leave it at that. Because I do have ground combat plus 10. So I probably can't afford multiple leaders anyway. So I'll probably just get Jared and then put him in the battleship and leave it at that. And then later on, maybe, I'll consider getting the Mercian guy there. Now this ship isn't going to have a lot of health, so it's very critical. It doesn't take any damage. I can actually buy it now, interestingly. Probably going to have to buy that outpost ship as well. If I want to buy another one, probably won't take that long, but put him in there. And right away, even though this is very early game, this is only 38 turns in. It's already got 100 beam attack, 105 beam defense, so very difficult to destroy. And these lasers, I'm pretty sure a nuclear missile has 4 health. So if the starbase launches 4 nukes, 16 health. These things do 2 damage each. These 8-point defense lasers can hopefully destroy all of the nuclear missiles. And he doesn't have any levels of refinement in chemistry, so his nukes are gonna not be heavily armored, which is very important. Got no money left though. So I'll just wait here. Do need a couple more transports. Yeah, I think I'll let that leader go. I'll just make one more ship. So I'm not hugely confident in the cruiser's ability to defeat the starbase. I think with a couple of extra ships there, it shouldn't be a problem. Very tempting to get that later, but I don't think it's the right call, so I'm going to let it go. Okay, this later is good. Instructor especially, very good. Just going to reject for now, despite saying that. In the meantime, I'm going to just pump some transport ships. And I'm going to go on the attack now. Just check their technology one more time. They've got fusion beam now, but I'm not worried about that. Oh, whoops, I should have bought the outpost ship. Alright, here we go. Now I've also got the navigator, which makes moving through this nebula not a problem at all. You ordinarily have a movement penalty when moving through a nebula. So let's see if I can pop this home planet. Yep, they're heading back with that battleship, but it's going to be too late. As a starbase, of course. Now if we take a look, we can see they've got those abilities equipped. Heavy armor and reinforced hull. So as you can see, titanium armor, but it's got, instead of 60 and 60, it's 180, 180. Meanwhile, we've got some fusion beams. Only 50 beam attack though. So I'm expecting, with the amount of beam defense that I have, which is a lot, the starbase is just going to miss every single time. And we've got the 4 nukes coming at us. So this should have 16 health total. And I've got quite a few point defense lasers here, so we're just going to sit back. Yeah, so the nukes are going down pretty easy. And I think the starbase is doing the smart thing, which is to target. Oh no, hang on. Now it's targeting the cruiser. Probably don't need to be moving forward here, but now he's targeting the courier, which is, yeah, it's a destroyer. Okay, so nukes didn't hit quite yet, which is good. Yep, so the point defense lasers are plenty in destroying these nuclear missiles. Ooh, okay. I think you got a lucky hit there. That was a very low probability, but even a very low probability happens once in a while. There we go. Okay, captured their home system. We are now at war. Silicoids are liveivore, which means they don't need food. They're also tolerant, which means no pollution. So, very, very nice. Gonna build a marine barracks. Gonna wait for this battleship to come in. Hopefully, can capture it. It'll likely have a lot of missiles, but the point defense lasers are pretty good. My ships are very, very weak, at least in terms of health. If they get hit, they're gonna die, but if they don't get hit, they'll be okay. So basically the plan is to not get hit. Okay, there we go. So it turns out automated factories was the next tech available. So I'm going to go ahead and research that. Alright, let's see. So he's got 7 nuclear missiles, which fired twice. He's also got reinforced hull, a bunch of fusion beams, but he's not going to be able to hit with these fusion beams because I have huge amounts of beam defense. So pretty much all I need to do is survive his missile salvos, which, okay, looks like he can hit. Alright, he took out my destroyer. But I think I've got him now. His fusion beams, I don't think he's going to be able to do enough damage to me. Tempting to go for the capture, but I think that is a mistake. It is a cruiser up against a battleship. So I'm not going to risk it, I'm just going to destroy him instead. Because that might happen. And if you get too close to a ship which is immobilized, they will just self-destruct. Try to take you out. So you do have to be careful with that. It's good not to get too greedy with it. Okay, I think it's time to get that other leader. So already adding 7.5, mostly 7.5. It is adding to the pollution as well there, I believe. So Actually, we can test it out. So 14 pollution currently. If I put her back into the pool, yeah, only 10 pollution. So even though she's adding the 7.5, it's also adding 4 pollution. So really, this is only 3.5. So kind of funny how that works. But there you go. And what I'm going to do is really make the silicoids kind of my main people, if that makes sense. Just keep sending these transports down. Actually, here I'm going to build a couple of destroyers, because these other planets might have some star bases on them. Now I'm going to build a scout and then just pump transports. The reason for that is I want to leave a transport there and then continuously build transports while a scout is there, because if the planet rebels, which it might, then I'll immediately be able to re-invade it. So little tip there, a good way to maintain control over these planets is to do exactly that. That star is a little bit further away. I'm not going to be able to reach. So I'm going to have to build yet another scout, actually. Because I'm going to have to go see what these stars are all about. Hopefully one of these has a planet or an asteroid or something, so I can build another outpost, and then I can get to Zardoon, and then I can finish off the silicoids. And once I've finished off the silicoids, absorbed them, I think I've basically won the game. Don't want to sound too anticlimactic, but that's pretty much what happens when you defeat the silicoids early game. Okay, so there is a starbase. Let's see what tech they have now. As you can see, they've got a level of refinement in chemistry. So now the nuclear missiles have these mods. They've got arm and fast. So heavily armored means they have double health, and fast means they move faster, which also gives them a beam defense boost. It's also got a couple of frigates here. So I'm not too worried, but let's see. As you can see, the missiles are traveling a lot faster. Might not be obvious, but this missile here went from there to there. I think normally it'd be about here or something, so. Okay, took out their leader. And the missiles are targeting the cruiser, which is interesting. So now I can move in with these guys. As you can see, it's already the heavily armored modification is making these missiles a bit harder to destroy. So it's a pretty big deal, especially considering my ships. My ships are very, very weak defensively beyond their beam defense, so if they do get hit, they're basically going to be destroyed immediately. The cruiser would be able to absorb a few hits, but these other ships are pretty much going to die instantly if they get hit by anything, so that heavily armored modification does change things a bit. Alright, starbase is going down pretty good. can't seem to make up their mind about what the target should be. I think if I was them, I'd just be going for the destroyers, but I think I've got enough point defense weapons that doesn't seem to matter. But this is why I wanted the extra destroyers, because I was a bit worried that I wouldn't have enough lasers to finish off these missiles. Alright, there we go. So not the best planet, but a planet is a planet. Alright, Pollux has some planets on it, so I can take it. So I'll start getting the outpost ship. And there's another planet there. Fun fact about the outpost ship is that if you do build an outpost on a planet and then you build a colony there using a colony ship, or I think even with a colony base, the colony will start with a marine barracks. So it doesn't say that anywhere in the game, at least I don't think it does. Oh, there you go. I'm not sure if that's in the base game, but there it is. If a colony is established at an outpost, the building remains and functions as a marine barracks. There you go. So what you can actually do is speed up the development of new colonies by building outposts there and then building a colony ship. That's kind of nice. So it isn't completely trivial where you build your outpost. So let's say I wanted to move here. I could build the outpost on any of the 5 things here, but it might be smartest to build on that planet there, for example, because that way later on, if I decide to colonize it, I can build the colony there, and then it'll have a marine barracks right off the bat. Okay, outpost ship is ready. I think tier kind of sucks. One max pop, ultra poor, low G, so I'm not going to bother with that place. I'm starting to go low on command points here, so I'm going to... I think the 3 transports will be enough, so I'm going to stop building transports now. I figure that place is probably not going to rebel. I think it's time to build a freighter fleet. Alright, got a space crystal, but it does have a splinter colony, so that is very nice. I might be able to take this guy out pretty easily because I got the beam defense, but it is risky because if you get hit by a space crystal, the space crystals, I think it's called a crystal ray, but it actually kills the marines on the ship. And if the ship runs out of marines, the space crystal can actually take control of the ship, which is can be very dangerous. So you do have to be careful with space crystals. Alright, now I've encountered a bunch of other people. Let's have a chat with them, see if we can get some treaties happening. Cluckons are very... I don't know if these slider things mean anything, but Cluckons never seem to want to accept treaties. Sakura, okay, as you can see, accepted the trade treaty, but not the research treaty, whereas Trilarians are quite peaceful. So they tend to accept. Alright, let's go ahead and make a colony. And now, sorry, not a colony, but an outpost. we'll move in, take the final planet. It does have a starbase, of course. So apologies, I'm going to have to do this whole thing again, but you've already seen it, so feel free to just skip ahead maybe 1 or 2 minutes. One of the downsides of this game is that it can get a little bit repetitive taking out the planets, especially in the mid game, because that's when the defenses can get very, very strong relative to your ship's strength. Early game isn't too bad, and late game you just have an insane amount of firepower, so it barely matters. But like whatever defenses they have, it just doesn't really do anything because you just have that much firepower, that many ships. So not the most glamorous part of the game, but it is part of the game after all. And you can still sort of see the technicalities playing out. There we go. Alright, so we've defeated the silicoids now. Now let's see if I'll eat my words regarding... Ooh, I forgot I forgot I had researched automated factories, so I better go and build those. Can't remember how long ago that was, but I was a bit distracted by the conquest. It's very important to get those happening on every planet ASAP. And I do have a lot of money, so I'm going to go ahead and build these as well. And now I basically want to just populate this entire bottom left section with silicoids. Because as horrible as it sounds, silicoids are basically superior to my race. Silicoids are superior because, as you can see here, they do have that growth penalty, which is kind of annoying, but otherwise I've got liver raw and tolerant. So they don't need food and they don't produce any pollution. Whereas my guys are just vanilla. Like my racial abilities that I picked don't affect them specifically. It's all at the faction level, which is to say the feudal science penalty. So I hope that explanation makes sense. Bottom line is silicoids are better, a lot better, because liver raw is 10 points or 10 picks, and tolerant is also 10 picks. So these abilities here, whereas the abilities that affect my guys are 0, so my guys are just vanilla. So we're talking about 0 versus 20. So the silicoids are a lot better. So what I'm going to do is build colonies on as many planets as possible, and then use freighters to move them around. Because whenever you build a new colony, it defaults to your own people, as you can see there. Now for my home system, I'm going to leave that as my own. Ooh. Oh no, that was Chrysler. Okay. So watch this. As you can see, large toxic, 1 out of 5 population. The moment I move a silicoid there, Now it's 2 out of 10. And if I move this Cylon worker, I better just check where I can send them first. Because I think these, yeah, I'll send them to RAS. Because that does need a bit of a population boost. You also get the morale penalty, mixed races. Move them to RAS. Yeah, so it's still out of 10, but we've got a higher max population because they're tolerant. And the morale penalty is now gone. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do, just rinse and repeat. Yeah, I probably should get some defensive spies. I think this guy was on offer before, but he left and now he's come back. So I'll hire him now that he's plus 20 instead of plus 10. Alright, cool. Silicoids are assimilating. Yeah, I keep trying to click on these to find out what the other technologies are, but to no avail. And for some reason, even though these guys don't need food, they're somehow able to farm, which is kind of funny, I think. But why not? Just because your people have never had to eat food, or at least organic food, their entire lives, who's to say that they don't make capable farmers? So a bit of some funny little quirks in this game that are like that. Going to get hydroponic farms here as well. This other technology, soil enrichment probably would have been better than cloning center, but that's uncreative for you, so you just got to roll with it. Cloning center could still be useful though. I think I still get the toxic penalty, even though, yeah, there's a maintenance penalty. So some planets, you've got this maintenance penalty. Desert is 25%. I think radiated is also 25%, and then toxic is 50%. Now, when you pick tolerant at the start of the game, you don't have to pay this maintenance penalty for some reason. Somehow, I bet your race being environmentally tolerant means that your buildings don't require further maintenance. Maybe it's because they don't need to be shielded, like they don't have to have insulation or whatever to protect against the harsh environment, something like that. And that's why you don't have to pay the maintenance penalty, but in any case, there it is. I think cloning center will actually be good for some of these planets, but it will take a while to research. Alright, I'm starting to not lose, but they are gaining my technology, which I don't like, so I'm going to build some spies shortly. In an effort to prevent that. Alright, I'm getting my first spies now. Probably wait a little bit too long, but I figured this kind of race that I'm playing, why would anyone want to steal my technology? But here we are. Guess there's always something to steal. Now it's time to build some colony ships. Yeah, troop pods is actually the worst out of the three. So for capsule construction, you've got troop pods, which I'll just right click on it, doubles the number of marines. Then you've got survival pods, which means if your ships are destroyed and you've got a leader on them, as long as the ship survives the battle, you get to keep the leaders. And then battle pods, which is the best, increases the available space on a ship by 50%. So getting troop pods is a bit annoying. Tempted to research it though, just because I want to get fighter garrison, but same issue as before, because I can't click into this to see what the next technology is. It may be that the next technology is not something that I want. It could be a spaceport or something. Like, still good, but not really what I want. And I can't remember what the other technology is in that field. There's fighter garrison and spaceport. Maybe fast missile racks, or maybe that's further up. I can't quite remember. So a little bit of a gamble. So this has made Uncreative even more interesting. Could also go here to try to get better armor. Yeah, put me in a bit of a tricky situation. I think I'll get Optronic Computer and then Tachyon Communications. We'll kind of go from there. Meanwhile, I'll continue with this colonization exercise. Okay, neural scanner, that's kind of nice. Alright, Sakura aren't happy with me. But that reminds me, let's try and make a treaty. Alright, they said yes. Klakon's still uninterested, pretty typical. Illyrians also not interested. So very good that I got automated factory. As you can see, my production isn't great, but a lot better than a situation where I wouldn't have that at all. If we go back to the planets, yeah, that one that's ultra rich is still available, but it's right next door to the Trilarians, so if they do decide to attack, it won't last very long. As you can see, if I build here, already got the marine barracks, so no morale penalty. Now, if you're unification, not much point of doing that. Or I think maybe democracy as well. So this whole thing only really applies to feudal and dictatorship. So I'll send a guy there. I'm pretty sure the nebula doesn't affect freighters, which is pretty interesting. So the way it determines how long it takes freighters to get there is based on your best drive. So right now I have nuclear drive, which is 2 parsecs a turn. As you can see, it's 4 parsecs away, hence it takes 2 turns. But if I had a normal ship there, there'd be this slowing effect of the nebula, which I think I can demonstrate. So with this guy, he ignores the nebula, so he only takes 2 turns. Plus he's got a bonus moving through. He's got a +1 speed bonus. So that's 6. So he's moving at 3, and he ignores the nebula. Whereas this guy will take 6 turns. So I don't know the exact calculation or whatever, but It's 6 parsecs, 6 turns, versus essentially 6 parsecs, 3 parsecs a turn, and hence 2 turns. So yeah, the whole nebula thing is pretty bad. But if you've got a guy with navigator, then it just gets rid of that altogether, which is pretty nice. So you might not have the opportunity for that, but if you do, then it definitely makes things a bit easier. I'm going to start working on a battleship there. I've got quite a few command points now, considering I have all these extra colonies. Ooh, I like that one. So just trying to increase my population of silicoids as much as possible. We go to the history graph, we'll see. Sacra is kind of keeping up with me because they tend to breed. They do have a high population cap, and they have population growth bonuses. Whereas these other guys, they're chugging along, but they're not increasing to the same extent, so this is quite good for me. As you can see, that sharp increase there, that's when I took the silicoid planets. I think they're homeworld. There's a corresponding decrease in our silicoid population, which is obviously at 0 now. As an empire, they no longer exist. And I'm basically on the clock here. I need to get out there and conquer ASAP. Because the longer I wait, the bigger the gap in technology will be, I think. And it's not obvious which technologies will be available to me to make my ships stronger. So it's a bit of a risky situation. I'll grab one more of these stars. Ooh, didn't realize I had a colony ship waiting. A bit sloppy there. Yeah, I'm pretty keen to go up and get that planet as well, but might get it later. Alright, the Antarians are sending a frigate. I don't think a starbase is going to be able to defeat this thing. I'm going to put my leader back in the pool. I'm worried about losing him. Because this thing, even though it's only a frigate, it's entirely possible it just swoops in, kills the cruiser in a single shot. It has 2 particle beams, which are quite strong. I think could do like 40 damage right off the bat. So just not worth the risk. So I'm going to let it just come in. And the starbase is going to be done in time as well, but I'm pretty confident I can defeat it. So just gonna move some people around here. Oh, no freighters left. Oh, here we go. Ooh. Yeah, see, he only hit with, I think that was one of his particle beams. I do have pretty high beam defense, so I did survive. Or I did, this guy wasn't immediately destroyed by the two particle beams. Yeah, so my ships aren't really doing anything anyway. Pretty much their main purpose is to have this guy shoot them and not die. And then the Starbase can just keep firing its missiles. Yeah, as you can see, it does a lot of damage. And he is elite crew, so he gets a plus 50 bonus. And he's got a molecular tronic computer, which is 125 beam attack. So that's where he gets the 175 beam attack. Meanwhile, even though my guys have high beam attack, I can't really damage him. He has high beam defense, and he's got a damper field, so the lasers just really don't do anything. So I'm probably not even going to be able to. Yeah, looks like the Starbase is going to die as well. There you go. So I think it was worth a try, but yeah, it didn't quite work out there. The planet survived though, which is good. So it can, of course, it can rebuild. I'm going to go for deuterium fuel cells for two reasons. One is I want to be able to get to my enemies. I know they're not technically enemies yet, but they are basically enemies. And then hopefully move towards Zortrium armor, because I pretty much need that right now, pretty desperately. Because right now, this whole situation with titanium armor, and yet no reinforced hull or heavy armor, is very, very bad. As you can see, my ships die very easily when they do get hit. Okay, Klakons, there you go. Klakons are coming for me. They're purple. Let's see what level of energy fuel cells they have. G2, okay. So they can travel 6 parsecs. Looks like they can't actually reach my planets, so that's interesting. They've declared war, yet they can't reach me, so I'm okay with that. Won't be long though before they find some way of getting to me. Okay, we've got Director Brainiac offering his services. Some very good abilities there. I think this is one of those leaders where he gets a whole lot of randomized abilities, but Famous alone is good enough to recruit him, so let's do that. Now, the best place to put him is probably Science and medicine. Okay, so he's science, medicine, and environmentalist. Okay, so environmentalist, we're only going to get the benefit if he's on a planet with Maya people and not Silicoids. Meanwhile, I'll reassign Rush Icky. I think I'm saying that right. To one of these other places. Put her on Chryslon. Meanwhile, Crassus only has a base maintenance cost of 1, so might as well hang on. Put him over there. I think that's somewhat optimal. Don't actually have any scientists though, so the science bonus isn't actually doing anything. Might be time to redesign the battleship. Now that I have another level of refinement, which is to say 2 levels of refinement in physics, I can equip the auto fire ability on these lasers. So not much of a battleship, especially this late in the game, but it's the best I can do with the technology I've got because of the whole situation with being uncreative. Alright, well, Rathi just got wiped out. That's interesting. Yeah, I suspect one of these colonies. Okay, there we go. Noten. Just got to reshuffle my colonists around here. Because I'm getting big morale penalties otherwise. Zardum as well. Alright, here come the Antarans again. Not a whole lot I can do about it though. Oh, it's only 1 frigate once again. Okay. Guessing he's going to just hit one of these planets, do a whole bunch of damage. Not too much damage though, being only 1 frigate. So we're going to just stay the course, keep building. If he destroys the starbase, so be it. Will be kind of annoying, but I'll survive. Alright, got another commander there. I probably will recruit him, just not right away. I think it's time to buy some automated factories. I do have quite a bit of money built up. Oops. Yeah, here he comes. Got our battleship there as well. Now, at war with the Clacons. Let's take a look at the technology they have. As you can see, a lot better stuff than what I have. So it might be tricky to beat them. Perhaps though, with enough battleships. Don't have any shields. Do have mass driver. Merculite missile with planetary missile base. Yeah, definitely not good. Merculite missiles have double the health. 13 lasers. These will do 2 damage each. 26 And then they auto fire, so they'll do at most 78 damage, I believe. So enough to destroy 10, 11, 12 Merculite missiles. That's if they don't have heavily armored though. So I will get a few more battleships and then I'll go for it. Don't know how many levels of refinement they have, because they might have the heavily armored modification. I'll have to get the deuterium fuel cells first, of course. Alright, he just bombarded the planet, killed a bunch of people. Bit annoying, but it is what it is. Alright, now they have ion pulse cannon and class 1 shield. There's Merculite missile. So playing on Uncreative can be extremely difficult if it doesn't give you the opportunity to buy, to research better armor. Because if your ships are stuck on 50 battleship, 50 structure and 50 armor, it's very, very low. If they get enough beam attack, they can destroy you quite easily. I will go ahead and hire this guy, he is pretty cheap. Wait for some more battleships. If I am Warlord though, so if I just have enough battleships, maybe it won't be a problem. Alright, some guy voted for me, that's nice. I think it was the Trilarians, they seem to like me. Wow, look at that. The Illyrians just completely demolished the Bulrathi very quickly. Their population just fell off a cliff. Meanwhile, Illyrian skyrocketed. And as you can see, a lot of these stars, Ursa is the Bulrathi homeworld. So the Illyrians just swept through. And because they're telepathic, they just took everything. Okay, they're making demands, so they're ready to fight me. Alright, time to start producing ships on some of these other planets. So I'm basically just going to pump ships. I'm feudal, so it's easy enough to do. Ooh. Some more Antarans, not attacking me this time, which is interesting. As you can see here, there's a battleship, probably a colony ship. I can't see it though, so I'm going to move away. But this probably has a colony ship with it. So he'll probably colonize that, and then he'll move in to attack this place. So I better build a starbase there. I do have a lot of money, so I can just buy it when I need to. And I only have one battleship at the moment. Alright, now I have 2 battleships. I'm actually going to go for this, not because I want fusion bomb, but I want to see if it offers me ion drive. Okay, it didn't, so that's bad. So the situation is rapidly deteriorating. Cloning center would be nice, but I think it's better to go for some military technology. Let's go for trip pods. See what happens in terms of the next available tech. Fusion bomb, fusion bomb could be useful, but ooh, hyperspace beast. Hopefully it doesn't eat my oh, hopefully it doesn't eat this battleship here. No, it did. Okay. Grum was killed. Alright, well that's that. Fortunately, it doesn't take me that long to build a battleship, so that's, yeah, a little bit BS, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Fortunately though, another guy popped up who is a commander, so I can get him instead, which I will do. And I'm going to just wait until the hyperspace beast is gone, because while he's here, I'm worried about losing more ships and more battleships and more leaders. Basically, the worst way to lose a ship to the hyperspace beast is you've already got a ship in transit with a leader on it, and then that thing happens, like that random event happens, and then you lose the ship and the leader. So it's it's pretty rough. Can be pretty rage-inducing at times, but you know that's the way this game is. And as you can see, it's eating the enemy ships as well, so I'm pretty happy with that. This place is rich, so I'm gonna pump battleships. This place is poor, so I'm gonna pump battleships. Alright, there was spaceport after all. So not a lot of options here. I think I have to just go for Merculite Missile and hope that eventually I can get better armor. Ryzeland has a space academy. Normally I demolish space academies right away, but I've deliberately left this one alive. So these guys will be getting a lot of experience. They're already veterans. So this guy here, 56. Now he's got 62. So he's getting 6 experience a turn. I think that's from this guy, gives +4, and then I've got the Space Academy there as well, which gives +1, and then I think it's a base of 1. So 1 + 1 + 4, something like that. So these guys won't take them long to get to 150, at which point they'll become elites. So they'll be quite strong. And I'm going to be pretty reliant on that very high beam attack and defense to keep the ships alive, because they have very, very low health. Alright, looks like I was building housing on a planet which had max population of 1, which doesn't really make any sense. But, there you go. Alright, here we go. So the enemy are coming for me now. I'm going to go ahead and build a starbase. 3 turns, well, okay. I'll make the next generation of destroyer just to get rid of this pesky invader. Actually got quite a few votes for me. 28%. 28 out of 48, which is a little bit over 50%, I think. Yeah, almost like 60%, so actually pretty close, surprisingly. So the diplomatic victory is on the cards here. Iridium fuel cells, I think. Just going to go for this. It's going to take a while. One thing I haven't actually explored yet is exchanging technologies, but it looks like, yeah, they're not willing to exchange anything, probably because I have nothing to give them. Reinforced hull for tachyon communications. Alright, let's do it. And if I go to demand, we can see they have a whole lot of technologies that I don't have. So, probably why I can't exchange. You can't exchange if you have nothing to actually offer. So, I'm going to decrease the firepower on these ships, but I'll get reinforced hull just to make them not die in a single shot. I've got one more battleship somewhere. There we go. Oh, probably should have been paying attention there, but alright, there we go. Now it's time to counterattack. Oh, I don't think I gave this thing Optronic computer actually. Alright, I've got quite a few battleships now, so I should be able to mount a pretty impressive counterattack. Don't know where my leaders are though. They're somewhere. And I'll just quickly refit this guy and quickly update the cruiser. Oh no, the spelling is a bit funny there, but anyway, not important. Alright, now the Antarans are coming back for me. Hopefully with not too big a fleet. Ooh, okay. Pretty big fleet. Nothing I can do about it though. I'm just going to have to let them destroy one of these star bases and then lay waste to the planet. The planet should survive. If it's my home planet, then the planet should survive. If it's one of these other planets, it might not survive, but that's okay. I'm just going to queue production so that whichever planet does survive can immediately build a colony base in the event I have to recolonize. So a little bit annoying, but I can't do anything about it, so just going to have to roll with it. And it's probably going to be like that the rest of the game, just because of my lack of technology. Okay, these guys are on board various battleships. These two are elite, so I want to put them on. Not sure where Jared is. There he is. Okay, that one's on elite as well. I just want my leaders to be on elite battleships, just to increase their chance of survival. This is something the computer love to do in this game. Because they're the computer, they can see all your stuff, despite they wouldn't actually have any ability to see this. It's essentially cheating, but they can see everything. So they're sending in this one frigate and transport because they know that if they come in, they might be able to take it. I think with these Marines, though, they probably wouldn't be able to take it, but I'm not going to take any chances, so I'll build a ship to defend and chase them away, and then I'm going to mount my counterattack. Okay, this guy just seems to only have missiles. I think that was a mistake. But I took him out. Also took out that leader, which is very important. Because that was actually quite a good leader they had there. Alright, let's go. Just gonna auto-resolve this one. Omicron 2 destroyed, so as you can see, immediately they just wiped out a whole planet. But I'll just build a colony base and get it back. Not that big a deal. Now I actually have too many ships, so I'm going to get rid of these frigates that I have. I'm producing even more ships, so it's only going to get worse, but I am going to take planets, so... Alright, let's see what they have. Titanium armor, battle scanner, reinforced hull but not heavy armor, so that's nice. Neutron blasters, and a positronic computer, 75 beam attack. So battle scanner plus positronic computer plus regular crew gives them that 150 beam attack, so pretty dangerous. Meanwhile, only class 1 shield. Also Pulsar missiles with a neutron and then heavy neutron blaster. So this thing is pretty dangerous, but let's see what happens. Once again, I can just sit back. I do have a lot of firepower. More firepower than I expected actually, so looks like it's not going to be a problem at all. This is why I built so many battleships, so I can just kind of do this. I'm essentially playing a style where my best defense is just enormous amounts of offense. If I just kill them fast enough, with this one, this planet has silicoids for some reason. If I just kill them fast enough before they can even get a shot off, then I'm okay. That's basically the plan. I think it's time to stop building ships. As a feudal, uncreative, combat-oriented race, that is a very painful thing, but I think it's time to stop building ships. And focus on some research. Only because I'm out of command points. No other reason. I don't have to worry about this colony rebelling because the silicoids have already been wiped out. Or defeated, I should say. Alright, this one doesn't even have any defenses, so I can just easily take it. That's another 2 command points. Alright, click on battleship heading for that place. That's fine, you can do that. Meanwhile, that's going to take 12 turns to build a starbase, but I'll probably just buy it. And I'm actually going to go very aggressive here. Going to leave these planets open for attack, but I think it'll be okay. I do have transports with each fleet, and hopefully I can just swoop in, take these, and everything will be okay. Alright, just a battle station there. Let's see how we go. Okay, not too much damage thanks to my high beam defense. These missiles could be a problem, but I'm actually gonna stay here and fight. Might lose the destroyer, but that's okay. Alright, battle station's about to go down. Probably won't be able to get this battleship before it retreats, but we'll see. Okay, looks like he's going to stay. Quite foolish, but admirable. So hopefully I'm going to... Oh, my ship drive is pretty abysmal, so I can't move very fast. I should be able to swoop in and capture. This is a very important moment because of the technology I could acquire by doing this. Okay, didn't capture it. Now he does that, and yeah. So pretty sad. I wasn't able to capture that. I'm a bit surprised with that many battleships surrounding him, but that's how the numbers added up. So we can see it here. Anti-gravity harness, better armor, same rifle, subterranean bonus as well. I'm guessing that battleship actually had security stations. I didn't check, but that battleship was a lot tankier, or rather, the Marines were a lot better than I was expecting. So I was really expecting to be able to capture that. And I think I'm going to lose this planet as well. Unless, of course, I buy a battleship, which I will do, because why not? I've got the money for it after all. Alright, this one has a missile base. I'm going to pick that off first. And I've got so many heavy lasers that I think it shouldn't be a problem. It'll probably get one salvo, and then that'll be it. Okay, all good. Didn't get a single salvo. So as long as they have class 1 shield, I shouldn't have too much trouble getting through these defenses. Once they get class 3 shield though, I won't be able to punch through. Alright, still no technology. Alright, that battleship didn't do any good. Looks like he's, yeah, security stations. I think that's what got me. I think they've been putting security stations on their battleships, which has given them, I think it's just plus 20 to marine defense. They've also got advanced damage control. So as you can see, the ship is already repaired, despite having just been in combat. So I kind of underestimated that battleship. But I'm able to take all these other planets, so I'm not too fussed. He doesn't have any other transports. So I'm actually going to send this back. Alright, still no Zortrio armor, which is extremely bad for me. I think the next course of action is to start spying, so I'm going to try and get the technology that way. Alright, now he's heading for Chrysalon. I can easily build a battleship in time there, thanks to this nebula. I also need a better drive because this nuclear drive is, my ships are extremely slow. Hold off on that guy for now, might come back later and recruit him. So I think if I do all this, I hit all these, their 3 remaining stars. That should finish them off. No, I'm not going to go for the battleship this time. Looks like he's confident enough to attack my starbase with the battleship. Does have superior technology, but I do have superior racial abilities. Okay, there we go. Rebuilt the missile base there, not surprising. Meanwhile, I can retake this. Or not. I do have more transports coming in though, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay, once again, I don't win the ground combat. Oh, there actually is another planet there, never mind. It's not just this one. Alright, I finally captured a technology, but it's only biospheres. Doesn't really do much for me. Well, it actually will be useful, but not to the extent that I was hoping. Ooh, that was very close. Very, very close. Alright, they liberated one of their planets. Can't say I'm too surprised. Let's quickly add on biospheres to all these planets. And then get these transports happening to finish off the Clacons. Which hopefully will be shortly. So I have 8 transports, it seems. I'll gather them all up at Colden, and then I'll sweep through, hopefully being able to take this. Alright, initial stabilizer, that'll be interesting. Just wait for a few more transports and then I'll go. Nope, never mind, the Illyrians have taken it. It's, I probably should have gone earlier. Alright, well I can probably grab these last few planets at least. Nope, looks like the Illyrians have taken that as well. And now the Antarans are attacking me, so I'm probably going to lose that planet there. Again, nothing I can really do about it. Like, I can't even get back there to defend, but even if I could get back there, I only have lasers, so it's probably not going to do much. So I'll just have to take this planet as a bit of a consolation prize, which I should be able to auto-resolve. Just have that much firepower that even the computer controlling it can't screw it up. There we go. And once again, it doesn't want to roll in my favor. So the Illyrians will probably come in and take this one as well. Alright, we got the last planet and got cloning center. And that's the end of the Clacons. So overall, a little bit of a disappointing result. Because I think I missed out on their home world, which is the the main one. But that's how it goes. And now it's offered me death spores. The other technology would have been soil enrichment, but instead it's given me death spores, so that's kind of nice. So now most of this belongs to the Illyrians. So if we look at the history graph, Illyrian is doing quite well. So they took out the Bulrathi, so they got a huge spike there. And then they took out a lot of the Klakon planets, so they huge spike there as well. So meanwhile, Sakra is just kind of chugging along. And then we've got the Trilarians down here, and then the Nolams below them. Oh, that's all the races actually, yeah. So Sakra could be a little bit challenging. If we look at buildings, okay, Illyrian and Sakra right up there. Fleet, I'm at the top, so that's kind of nice. My ships aren't particularly great, but I am at the top there, so that's nice. Meanwhile, technology, unsurprisingly, I'm right down the bottom here. I'm still below the Bulrathi, and they got wiped out quite a while ago. Like at least 50 turns ago, so I'm still below a race which has been defeated many turns ago. So we'll see. We'll see if I can bring it to a victory, but yeah, so far pretty fun. And I do have a high population, so it's not over. And we'll see what technologies I can get to kind of bring my fleet up to scratch to compete with these other guys, and kind of go from there. So I'm gonna stop it there. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.